A very good morning, everyone. Today we'll be starting the unit third of our course AGCon 302, and today we'll be talking about various cost and income concepts related to a farm. Okay, and generally these cost and income concepts are used for official data collection. That means data collection for research purposes, based on which the cost of actual cost of cultivation of crops is calculated, and based on which MSP, which is being talked about a lot these days, is decided. So you can understand the importance of this concept. So let's begin. These will be the contents of our slide. Some will be discussing some important terms to be understood first, then we'll be talking about the cost concepts, then income concepts, and then a practical example from 2016-17, including the official data of uh, cost of cultivation of wheat in Haryana. Okay, so let's begin. What do we mean by an asset? An asset for is something that we can convert into cash by selling it. Okay, that can lead to income earning also. Land is something that does gives us earning in the form of rent, or it allows us to cultivate crops on it. Plus, we can also sell it to convert it into cash. Tractor, same thing, it helps us cultivate our crops. Also, we can sell it to convert it into cash. Same is with the implements. Okay, so anything that can be converted into cash or that helps us earn income is an asset for us. Okay, liability, owned to someone else. Let's say we have taken some loan in terms of cash from somebody, or in terms of inputs from somebody. So this is a liability for us. We are supposed to repay it within some specified period of time. Okay. Depreciation is reduction in value of an asset. Let's say a tractor. Let's suppose a tractor. Its value reduces with time because with use there is some wear and tear inside the engine. It gets old. Okay. Obsolescence, the technology of the tractor is now obsolete. It is consuming more diesel than the newer ones, so its value is reducing because of that also. Just like new cars are giving more mileage than the old ones. Okay, that's why these cars can be termed as obsolete, or their technology behind them can be termed as obsolete. Plus maintenance we have to do due to wear and tear also, that but it might happen that we might have run into some accident. That's why we might need to change some parts. So due to all these reasons, value of an asset reduces with time. So that reduction in value is called as depreciation. Okay. Working capital, if I'm saying capital here, that means cash, simply cash or money. The money which we are going to use to buy inputs like seed, fertilizers, chemicals of all types, labor, etc. So that is working capital. Okay, for producing crops that we are going to buy. Interest on working capital, let's just read it out and you'll understand. Interest, that money would have earned, this money that we have used for buying inputs, instead if we would have just lent it to somebody, it would have earned some interest. Okay, interest, that money that would have earned if not invested in buying inputs but lent to somebody. So that is the interest on working capital. See, this money we are having, which we are investing in producing buying inputs for producing crops, has other usage. Okay, we will be using it in crop only when it earns us more money than simple lending. Okay, so that's why we need to consider this cost as well. Land revenue, this is a sort of a tax that is collected by the government. In Haryana it is 100 rupees per acre. Okay, cesses are, these are special purpose tax. Just a few days back you might have heard that cess of, I don't know how many percentage, let's say 5%, have been imposed on petrol and diesel for agriculture. That means this money that will be collected as 5% tax from petrol and diesel sale will be invested in agriculture only. Okay, so this is special tax. Some other taxes might also be there, based on location, so which also need to be included in different areas. Rent paid for leased in land. Leased in land simply means land you have rented in for cultivating crops. Okay, the rent you might be paying it for is for a whole year, let's say 25,000. It's a rent for field near to our village. It depends from area to area how much it will be, based on what kind of crops can be cultivated there. Interest on value of owned fixed capital assets. See, fixed capital assets means these include land, buildings on it, and let's say tube well and also a tractor. Fixed capital assets means which are going to give returns, or which are going to help you earn money for a long time. These are fixed capital assets, so it has some value. Let's say it's worth more than crores. Buildings might be of 5 lakhs, tube well 1 lakh, tractor 5 lakhs. So these things also you have invested in because you want to cultivate crops. So they, instead of, let's say, except land, generally we do not include the interest on the value of land, but these things are specifically constructed or paid for because we are entering into crop production. Otherwise this money you could have been used somewhere else. So that's why we also need to include the interest on value of these fixed capital assets in our cost of cultivation of a crop. Rental value of owned land. Money the farmer would have earned if he had given his land on rent to somebody else to cultivate their crop. Okay, if the farmer is cultivating the crop himself, okay, and he would be using the land for cultivating the crop himself only when he is sure that he will be able to earn more than the rent. Let's say his rent for own land is 25,000. He'll give it to somebody for 25,000. He is using this his own land because he is quite sure that he will be able to earn more than 25,000. Otherwise there is no point in continuing himself. He should just give it to someone else and take this 25,000 and leave, because he will not be able to recover this cost. Okay, imputed value of family labor. Simply, the family does work on the farm and it has some value. That work has some value even if they don't get paid for it. Value of work done by family members on their own farm in terms of rupees. Okay, this also needs to be included in cost of cultivation. Statutory minimum wage rate. Statutory means legal. That means which has legal foundations. If you are paying less than it, you can face legal action from the government. This is legal minimum wage rate which you are supposed to pay your labor for the work they are doing on your farm. Okay, the value of management as 10% of the total cost. Let's say the total cost of production of wheat per acre is 50,000 rupees, 50,000 per acre. So the value of management would be 5,000 per acre, because this management task that is being done by the farmer, apart from using his land, apart from using his money, he invests his mind, his skill into the work of crop production. So this also should be taken into account. This money, let's say 5,000 rupees of money, he could have easily earned if he would have used his mind somewhere else. That means he would have worked for someone else. So we need to include this thing in also in the cost of cultivation. Now let's talk about the cost concepts I discussed in the very first which is part of the title of this class. A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. These are the names given to cost concepts which include different components of the cost of cultivation of a crop. Okay, Cost of cultivation means how much does it cost? How much does it cost a farmer to cultivate a crop per unit area of land? It's we're talking about area, that means per acre or per hectare, like this is what I mean by when I refer to as cost of cultivation. Cost A1 includes cost of hired human labor. Okay, that means hired, not the family labor, hired, which you are hiring from outside. Hired bullock labor, owned bullock labor, owned machinery labor, hired machinery charges which you are paying for. Let's say your let's say cultivator, you are taking it from someone else for plowing your field, or a rotavator maybe, or some other implements. Seed that you are producing on the farm, as well as you are purchasing from outside. Value of insecticides and pesticides you are buying. Value of manure that you have made yourself, because that also costs some money, and the one you have purchased from outside. Value of fertilizer like NPK you have purchased from outside. Depreciation, as I told you, depreciation on the implements and farm buildings, on implements and farm buildings only. Okay. Irrigation charges, land revenue, that means tax, special purpose tax, and some other taxes in other region specific taxes. Interest on working capital. Okay, that means interest on all these things, or let's say 10% of all these. This is called as interest on working capital. Farmer would invest this much money in crop cultivation because he knows that this investment is going to give them more than this 10% that he would have got by lending it to someone else and not using in the crop production. Some other miscellaneous expenses, miscellaneous means general expenses which are not accounted for, let's say tea, and some, let's say, medical expenses also. Some expenses you need to buy for refreshments sometimes. Okay, some small expenses which are not counted for here. Cost A2 includes cost A1 plus rent that you are paying for leased in land. If you are renting in land, if you are renting or leasing in land, if you are taking land from somebody else. Cost B1 includes A1 plus interest on value of owned fixed capital assets excluding land, as I told you, because the value of land is too much. If we try to add if we try to include the interest on this one also, so there is no point, the cost of cultivation will be huge. So interest on value of owned fixed capital assets like machinery plus implements plus buildings. Okay. Cost B2 includes B1 this plus rental value of owned land. Owned land, let's say he can get rental value of 25,000 minus land revenue, taxes are 100 rupees, and rent paid for leased in land. Okay, if he has leased in any land. Cost C1 is cost B1 plus imputed value of family labor. That means the work that the family has put in on the farm being valued at market rates. At market rates. Cost C2 is cost B2 plus imputed value of family labor, as I just told you what is imputed value of family labor. Adjusted C2, that means cost C2 adjusted to take into account the valuation of family labor. Here we are talking about market rates, and here this valuation is done at statutory minimum wage rate, whichever is higher. Okay, higher side we have to take. Cost C3 includes C2 plus value of management at 10% of the total cost. Why? I just told you why we include the cost of management at 10% of the C2, because the person who is managing everything, he is able to employ his mind somewhere else and earn some money. Okay, let's talk about some income concepts now. What are these income concepts? Four income concepts, and what do they mean? What's their calculation? Farm business income. It is given by gross income minus cost. Even gross income means the income you are earning by main product, that is, let's say, grain plus stubble. Okay, if you're talking about wheat, by grain means price into quantity, and stubble is generally sold per acre. Okay, per acre or per hectare. Not there. This is not weighed on that per kg or per quintal cost is not there when we are selling it on the farm. Farm business income is gross income minus cost A1. It generally is equal to gross income minus variable and fixed costs. Okay. Family labor income, it is calculated by gross income minus cost B2, which means which simply means income that a farming family would have earned if it had worked on someone else's farm by leasing it in. The family labor income, as I told you, gross income minus cost B2. B2 includes B1 plus rental value of the owned land. That means we are increasing the cost. It simply means that we are counting the rental value of our own land. It is just like we are either we can count the cost of our rental value of our own land, which is equal to renting somebody else's land and working on it. That simply means income a farming family that would have earned if it had worked on someone else's farm by leasing it in. Because if it is counting the rental value of its own land in the cost, then it is similar to leasing in someone else's land and counting that cost. Okay. Net income. Net income is gross income minus cost C2, which is considered as pure profit. This is the actual profit a farming family earns. Okay. Farm investment income is farm business income, that is the first one, minus the imputed value of family labor. Understood? Cost A1 includes cost 2 to 14 of this. Cost A1 it does not include value of family labor. This is a very important point. Cost A1 does not include value of family labor, and here what we are doing is gross income minus cost A1 minus value of imputed value of family labor, imputed family labor value. Okay, so this is the profit after paying wages to the family members. This is the actual profit that a farmer should consider his own. These are the profit that a farmer should consider is his own, because let's say out of the total income and paying for all the fixed and variable cost plus paying for the family labor work that has been done by our family members, if he saves some money now, that means it was worth to include all his family into crop production. Otherwise there was no point in including them. They might have worked for someone else. Okay, now let's see a real life example of cost of cultivation of wheat. Just remember it is for 2.5 acres. Okay, it is for a hectare in Haryana in 2016-17. We have just I have taken this data from the cost of cultivation scheme. The value has been calculated based on extensive data collection done throughout Haryana. Human labor, that is family labor, hired labor. Family labor has been this much amount, hired labor has been 4,658. Animal labor, machine, seed, manure and fertilizers, insecticides directly, and irrigation charges 4,852, miscellaneous charges 640, depreciation on implements and farm building. Okay, this has been counted as 626. Total variable cost now comes to 1 to 13. Okay, total variable cost is 1 to 13, which is 35,000. Land revenue, as I told you, 100 rupees per acre comes out to be 250. Interest on fixed capital assets, excluding land, interest on them for Haryana itself, for whole Haryana, it was 5937. Rental value of owned land. Average rental value throughout Haryana is 27,763. Rent paid for lease in land, because we are not talking about a farmer who has leased in land. He is cultivating his own land. Risk factor of 10% of total variable cost. Actually, it has been taken as 4%, not 10% of total variable cost. The excess 1415 is 4% of 35,395. Risk factor is generally taken to, let's say, the costs can go up and can go down during the season, and because of various factors. The total fixed cost will be from 14 to 18, which comes to be 35 3000 no no 35,366, including this. As you can see, the major part of this fixed cost is our value of own land, rental value of own land. Alright, so the total cost is, total fixed cost plus variable cost comes around 70,000, 71,000 for cultivating 1 hectare of wheat. This much it does cost. Now let's see cost A1. What was included under cost A1? Generally it includes all the value of, let's say, variable costs are included. Most of the variable cost is included. Some land revenue, irrigation charges, depreciation, interest on working capital, these have been included. It does not include value of family labor. This much is the 2 to 14. This 2 to 14 means starting from here 2 to 14. This has been total and put equal to cost A1. This is the formula for cost A1, and it came out to be 27,000. Cost A2 includes cost A1 plus interest plus rent paid for leased in land. And I just told you that we did not pay any rent for leased in land, so it is same. There was no rent paid for leased in land. Cost B1 includes A1 plus 15. That means interest on value of interest on value of fixed assets except land. Alright, this was somewhere around 2000 or something. No, it was around 6,000. Let me just check it back. 15 interest on fixed capital, it was 6,000, around 6,000. Alright, now cost B2. Cost B2 includes, cost B2 is B1. Sorry, let me just do it again. B1 plus rental value of owned land. Alright, this comes out to be 61,000. Then again we can calculate C1, C2 by adding plus imputed value of family labor to B1 and B2. Okay, so we can work out all these cost concepts easily if we just remember the formula. And gross income would be just income of the main product, that is simple multiplication, the quantity that we got 43 quintals per hectare, which is a normal average yield in Haryana, and this was taken as 1925 per quintal for, as it is the rate in 2021. Okay, 82,000 and 15,000 will be the byproduct value of the stubble, which is used as fodder for livestock. The total income of wheat comes out to be around 98,000. Okay, now what was farm business income? These are the income concepts. These are the cost concepts calculated based on real data. These are the income concepts calculated based on the real data. This is the gross income minus, let's say, fixed and variable cost and variable cost, which comes around 67,000. I'm really very sorry, this is giving some problems again and again. 67,000 family labor income, which means the income that a family that would have earned if it had worked on someone else's farm by leasing it in, because we are including rental value of own land in the cost of cultivation, so it is similar to leasing in someone else's land also. Okay, So this comes around 34,000. Net income, which is pure profit of cultivation of wheat per hectare, is 26,000. Farm investment income, profit after paying the labor, family labor, it's worth while wages. Okay, this comes out to be farm business income minus this labor. This comes out to be 60,000. 86.63. So this is how you can calculate these farm business income, labor income, cost concepts and income concepts to be precise. So their meaning and their utility has been discussed in this lecture. If you have any doubt, please go through it once again. I am very clear, very confident that you will be able to clarify them yourself. But still, if you have any doubts, you are more than welcome to get them clarified at any moment of time. So thank you very much. There is no suggested reading for this topic, as everything that has been talked about is more than enough for you to uh, know about this topic. Thanks a lot for your time. Thank you.